In this video, I show you how our front end works with the Spring backend to save files to Google Cloud. Right, now, starting with our image service, this method here, this is where we are sending a HTTP post request to the backend to send the form with the data that the user has input. This is the form here that I have defined, and where that is collecting all the data the user is inputting. Remember, all our user is doing is uploading a file, one or more files. No more information is being input. Now to the form, because the name of the file, we are extracting the name from the file that has been uploaded. The user does not have to key in anything. Okay, and what we do is, if I can take you here in this method here, this method on add new image, the form, the user data is collected and we put it here as a parameter of this method here, the post data method now, which has the form. Okay, now the form, and then we save it into this variable, all the values that have been input by the user, and then we send a HTTP post request now with the form to the back end. And you can see how this works here. This must match what is defined in the back end in our Spring Boot application. If you go here, you'll see that in our controller we have the request mapping for forwarding our HTTP requests, and we have this hook here, or the handler save file. So that and that is what is forming this, and this host is our HTTP localhost 8080, because that's where we are sending our requests, as you can see it there. On the other side, as you saw on our Spring Boot application, we have port 4200 for the, because we are getting our requests, our HTTP requests posted from the from that port rather. Now back to here, we have seen how data is being sent to the back end, and this method here is again for loading all the files from the database. Remember, our database has a URL for the image that has already been stored in Google Cloud. So we load all those files, and again, if you can see, this again must match what is on our Spring Boot application. Now the database is still there. You can see, let's see what's there. We have Spring Boot Angular logo and their URL, and that is what we have here. Okay, and if we can go to our bucket again, let's refresh and see, and you see there they are. Okay, Angular and Spring Boot, these two there. Okay, now back to our front end code. Here, update image partial. What we are doing here, we are sending a put request, a put HTTP request, because what we need is, we only need to amend our entity partially, or the only changes that we can make is to change the name. There's nothing else, and that's how the front end is also designed. If you want to edit, you can only edit the name and nothing else, because if you edit the link, the image will not work again anyway. And obvious, the ID for these images are being generated automatically. We don't want to change those ones either. That's a method for deleting. Again, you can see we are using the same handler for sending our HTTP delete request to our Spring Boot application, which is here, delete. There we go. Okay, ID. So you have that, and then you have the ID, because we delete these files by their ID. Okay, that's that. We have seen all that. Adding image. This modal here is for updating. When you click on update, this modal, a modal is just another, a simple form rather, a simple form that pops up. You saw it. That's the modal here. You can change anything. It has its own CSS and a template. Again, I will upload this on GitHub. Please feel free to go and download. Thank you for watching. Bye now.